NFL Week 2, baby. NFL Week 2. The NFL season is all the way back. And we are all the way back. And I am joined on this NFL recap and preview show with our lovely Thursday Night Football fan. Wawa Ryan is here with me. And Ryan, pretty bad week for week 2 for both of us. But the Eagles won, but playing on Thursday night is a buzzkill. What do you think about Thursday Night Football and your Eagles winning?
Yeah, Thursday night, definitely not the greatest night, but can definitely be a good night when your team wins, even if it was an ugly, ugly game for a solid half, 3/4 of the game. But, they pulled it off. They rediscovered that the run game was very important to them and found a way to eke out a win against a not very good Vikings team.
Yeah, it never seemed like the game was in doubt for the Eagles, but the scoreboard says otherwise. I felt like their defense played a lot better than giving up 28 points. I mean, 21 of the 28 are in the second half, 14 in the fourth quarter. They might have been gassed a little bit, so that is not ideal. But at the end of the day, 2-0, and Philly hasn't played great football yet, so that's promising probably as an Eagles fan.
Yeah, not playing any of your starters through the whole preseason and trying to break in two coordinators is definitely starting to show early and often for this team this season. And some of the other teams in the division are kind of looking a little scary. So the seat's getting warm for them at the top a little bit, and it's definitely not as rosy as some kind of would have hoped it would have coming off of last season.
Yeah, and I think the Vikings are feeling a little pressure too with an 0-2 start, so not great for them. But I think Philly will take being 2-0. I don't think that they're the only team that is struggling by not playing a bunch of starters in the preseason. You see that pretty much everywhere around the league. The one game that steps out a lot this past weekend is Chiefs Jaguars, where everyone thought that was going to be 45-42, and it ends up being 17-9. Just a dud of an offensive performance from what we saw in the AFC title game last week. I don't know if you saw any of that game. It was not on Red Zone, I can tell you that.
Yeah, and the team looks like they're struggling with trying to wait for Travis Kelce to be fit. Really, no one has stepped up in that receiver room the way they kind of have been hoping since they've gotten rid of Tyreek Hill, and the youth is showing. Patrick Mahomes kind of looking a little human without Kelce. Some are trying to say, is this a Brady Belichick situation?
Yeah, you never know. I think the Chiefs will figure it out. The one thing that they have to figure out is that Isaiah Pacheco is a dog, and I'm not saying that because I have stock in Pacheco in fantasy. I might be, but I'm not saying that right now. But like when he runs the ball, it just it sparks the offense. Like he just runs it so hard. Really fun to watch, and especially change of pace for that offense where it just pass. I really enjoy watching. One of our Big Ten guys, Isaiah Pacheco from Rutgers, grit, just grinding out yards. Like he's going to get every yard, and he's going to earn it as well, which is fun to watch.
Yeah, and on the other side, Jags kind of took a step back after that homecoming reunion for Ridley on week 1, where he kind of came out and showed flashes of his old self. Kind of looked pretty human this week, especially as people started to realize he could play football again.
Yep. There was a couple throws that he didn't get his feet in. Could have been rust. One of them was in the back of the end zone, which would have helped anyone that has the Trevor Lawrence, Calvin Ridley stack in fantasy. Again, not trying to say it was me, but it might have been me as well. So there was opportunities for Ridley, and they just didn't capitalize on it. And I think the rust showed a little bit. But I mean, both those teams are 1-1. The real concern is that there are two playoff teams. Some would say the favorites, odds-on favorites to go back to the Super Bowl. The Bengals are 0-2 and the Chargers are 0-2. I think the more concerning one is probably the Bengals because Joe Burrow re-aggravated the calf on the last throw. Even though it was a touchdown pass, he came off straight to the massage gun. They're 0-2. They're 0-2 in the division. So That's a little bit concerning for them. Welcome in, Nate. Nate is here talking a little NFL right now.
Hey, hey,
Um,
hey, hey.
Heyo.
Hey,
Um,
yo.
but yeah, I think it's real concerning because they do have an extra day of rest with the Monday night game at home against the Rams. The Rams look good this past weekend, so I don't think that they can overlook them. But if you're going to tell me that Jake Browning is playing that game on Monday night, the way that Puka has looked in that offense, the Rams might put them at 0-3, and I don't know what the numbers are, but it's not statistically good to be 0-3 and try to go back to doing what some are saying the last year for the big window for the Bengals to win the Super Bowl. I know they have a young defense, but uh, they have they have T. Higgins on a contract year. I don't know if they'll be able to re-sign him. I know Jamar Chase wants to get
Yes.
paid. Someone's the odd man out. So
Yeah, only looked it up for you. Only 6 teams in the last 50 years have made the playoffs after starting 0-3. So fate is not on
not
their side if they cannot pull one out this week.
Yep. So that's kind of concerning. The other one with the Chargers, they're concerning because I think coach is an idiot. I don't think that he's good. I think Justin Herbert sucks in clutch moments. He's never been able to do it in college. He hasn't been able to do it in the pros. We reiterate all the time. He had 27-0 lead on the road in Jacksonville last year, and they ended up losing it. So I think that him and his coach are both losers, and I think it's a real concern for them.
Yeah, not even like analytically wise thinking of this team. This team just makes no sense. You have so many offensive weapons. You have Keenan Allen, you have Mike Williams, a healthy Eckler a lot of the times, and they can't find a way to win games. And on paper, you look at their defense too, and they've got dogs, they've got names all over that defense. But for some reason, it kind of gives that Eagles dream team vibes from back in 2000, the early to late 2000s, because this team just can't seem to put it together with all the talent they have on this roster.
Yep. So that's kind of something to watch. And then the Monday night, I just gotta address it a little bit because I know that anyone listening knows how much I love the Browns. The Browns were horrible on Monday night, just from the first play forward to the fitting end of a missed pass interference call. But obviously, the big story there is Nick Chubb out for the season. Like, God bless it. I will not watch that replay. It's disgusting. I don't want to blame Minka Fitzpatrick, but it did look like he was going low intentionally. Now, I don't think that he was intentionally trying to ruin Nick Chubb's life, potentially. But it did look like he jolted himself low. So I'm not going to say that it was dirty, but it definitely looked like it was a borderline dirty hit. But at the end of the day, injuries are there. Browns re-signed Kareem Hunt to try to fill the void. But, you know, as they say, as Coach Boone said in Remember the Titans, you cannot replace a Gary Bertier. You cannot replace a Nicholas Jamal Chubb for the Browns. So that sucks. It's on the quarterback now. It's time for Watson to earn all of the money that they guaranteed up front for him. I know it's going to take some time. New offense. His mental clock is off. There are people open. He's just got to get there mentally. But the biggest thing about Monday night that I wanted to address with you real quick before we move into Week 3 preview. They had 2 Monday night games, and they're doing it throughout the year. I think this Monday night we also have 2. But don't dual screen them. Like, don't do that on ESPN. If I wanted to watch Saints Panthers, I would have turned on ABC or ESPN or whichever one was the opposite. If I want to watch a Browns Steelers game, I'm going to turn on that channel. Don't make me watch both of them.
Yeah, this was about going to be as successful as this NBA in-season tournament's going to be. This is just terrible idea. Why would you split your Monday night primetime viewership up, especially when one of the games is, I mean, they're both rivalry games because they're both in division, but at this point, who really wants to watch the NFC South? Sorry, NFC South fans, but you guys aren't playing exciting football. Like, the Saints have promise, but they're just not, it's not there yet. And the Panthers are they're far from there. Even though they got Bryce and the hype is there, no team in this division is really a complete team, especially when you look at it, and the Bucks are the team leading the division, the team to be worried about right now.
Yeah, it's very, very strange that the NFL would make that move with how calculated they are with everything that they do is just very confusing to me on why they're doing this. So I don't think that it's going to generate more revenue, but hey, I could be wrong. Let's move on to a little bit of a week 3 preview and picks. So we'll go down, give a little bit of what we think of the game, and then just pick it because why not? I'll give out my picks for free. So we have Thursday night football. Everyone loves Amazon Prime Thursday night football, as football isn't sloppy enough in the NFL.
My favorite.
Your favorite, Nate?
Yeah, I just
You love Amazon Prime?
Trying to find it on Amazon Prime every week, and I love forgetting my Amazon Prime password, and I love signing back in and reset my password weekly. It's so much fun.
Oh, they're all getting another game.
It's so great. Ryan Fitzpatrick is there. He's got a great beard. Richard Sherman's there. It's a good time on Amazon Prime, but God bless friggin' Herb Street on his schedule, what he's got to do for it. I know he's compensated well, but he's still a human being, and what he has to do is insane.
Herb Street's the people's champion of broadcasters nowadays.
Yeah. That Thursday night game is San Francisco versus the Giants. The Giants started off the season getting shut out 60-0. Yeah, they came back and beat the Cardinals, but hey, everyone's supposed to beat the Cardinals this year, so I'm not going to praise them so much for beating them. I'm just going to assume that they spotted them the 20 points, and obviously I'm going to take the 49ers at home here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a no-brainer, especially with the Barkley injury. It's hard to kind of jump on the Giants train right now until I see a little more from their new franchise or newly paid QB. But this team kind of is showing a lot of the old wear and tear of the Giants. Not a lot of offense outside of Barkley and occasionally the DJ scramble.
Yeah, I think the second-year head coach wall is a thing. And Dayball is going to have to climb that wall, and he's got to do it with Daniel Jones. So, hey, hats off to him. He's gonna have to do that.
Got to earn that Coach of the Year now.
Yeah, it's not going to be gifted to him.
No, God, no. 49ers will have this thing wrapped up 5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, a little clean sweep. We'll all tune in Thursday night. Starting with the 1:00 slate. A game that will obviously be on the big screen for me. Titans-Browns in Cleveland. Jesus, over under 39.5. The Browns defense is legit. I'm picking the Browns, but they're swarming. I don't think the Titans have a great pass rush, but these are the type of games that Vrabel will get up for. Last week was a great call on the Vrabel bounce back game. So good for the Titans. Both teams are 1-1, but I think if the Browns can get C+ play from quarterback, they can win this game at home against Tennessee.
Yeah, this one.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, for this one too. I mean, they're not being particularly invested in either of these teams. Just kind of looking at it, that Browns defense is kind of the standout side of the ball in this game for me, and I think they'll be enough to hold off. I don't think either offense is going to be clicking this week, and I think it's just going to be which defense can hold out better. I would go with the Browns.
Yep, and I know Nate loves him some Mike Vrabel. So
I do. Did you know that Mike Vrabel has won 23 games as the underdog?
That's straight up, like not against the spread, like straight up. Wow,
straight up as the underdog as the head coach of the Titans. I learned that today. That's what type of guy he is, and I love him. I also love the new smash and dash concept of their offense with Tajay Spears. Last weekend, it reminded me of the 2021 year, and Tannehill didn't suck as bad. So their offense still blows, but I do like what I'm seeing. This game is going to be just old school football, and I can't wait to watch it. Two good defenses going at it, low scoring. It's really going to come down to field goals, honestly. I feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely going to give the Browns the win at home. They need the moral victory in this one. So I'm going to go Browns in this one. If this was in Titan land, I would say different. But I think on the road, I think the Browns get this one.
Love it. Love it. Clean sweep of my brownies. Hopefully that'll happen. But big applause for the Browns right there. Let's see. Moving on. A game that I will have zero interest in, besides Jared Goff's fantasy numbers. Falcons Lions in Detroit. Falcons are 2-0. They are sticking with the formula of Arthur Smith, run the ball down your throat. If the Lions defense can show up like they did in week 1, big letdown game last week against Seattle. I think I actually had Seattle winning that game. The Lions defense like showing signs of what happened last year in that that Thursday night game against the Chiefs was a little bit fluky on defense, but also the Chiefs only scored 17 points against the Jags, so could have been a combination of both. I still like Detroit being able to outscore Atlanta because I don't believe in Desmond Ridder, but I do believe in Jared Goff. It's kind of weird that I'm saying I believe in Jared Goff. So I'm taking the Lions.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Lions as well. Just a couple things to watch with this game, though, with Montgomery being out, how they use Gibbs as potentially the full or the go-to guy out of the backfield. And the Sun God coming up questionable this week in practice. So just something to keep an eye on. If he doesn't play, I think that could definitely swing it back towards the Falcons, but I still like the Lions as well, just because of that offensive ability.
The Lions.
I love this game. I think it's going to be a witching hour tennis match.
It could be.
I think this game's going to come down to the fourth quarter, and it's going to be like 30 to 35, and it's just going to keep going back and forth until someone finally scores at the end. Both teams, Falcons at all, not to the Lions offense, and the Lions defense. After a while, it's going to break, and Arthur Smith's going to find the breaks in them. He's a really good coordinator, so I give Falcons a lot of points in this game, but I think the Lions will get this one in the fourth quarter at like 3 minutes to go or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels like it ends up being a field goal game. The line's -3 for Detroit. They say that the home team normally gets 3, so Vegas is basically calling this a pick 'em. It feels like.
This is definitely fun and frisky. It's a fun and frisky Super Bowl.
Yeah, no doubt. That would be cool, but Falcons aren't getting past the 49ers. Let's see. This is an interesting. These are two interesting teams because the Saints are 2-0 and they haven't played good at all against the Packers. Jordan Love did not look great last week against the Falcons. I don't know if that was a test of their defense or Jordan Love finally having some game film, but Packers -2 at home. I think I'm going to take the Saints. If this goes into like a little bit of a passing shootout, I actually like the Saints defense this year, even though Joe Woods is calling it. So that might be a problem, but they can get to the quarterback, and I'm not sure. Is Aaron Jones still hurt? I think he's still hurt. He might come back, but as of this recording, he is not. He has not been made clear that he's coming back. So I like the Saints over the Packers on the road.
Yeah, same with that. A couple other big injuries that could play a part. Christian Watson might be back for his first action this year. Definitely had his moments where he looked like an absolute stud last year, so he could be a huge weapon for the Packers to kind of help take off the top if he's back and healthy. And then on the Saints side, Kamara is still suspended, and it looks like Jamal Williams will be out too. So we'll see if their rookie pick Kendre Miller is back and able to come in and add a little bit to that offense. I like the speed he could give that backfield and maybe a little bit of juice if he comes back healthy.
Taysom Hill,
a little bit, yeah. But I'm gonna pick the Saints as well. I think that defense is good enough to carry them through probably an ugly, gross game. Probably 2-3 turnovers total. It's not gonna be pretty football, but the better coached defense in the Saints, I think, will will help win that game.
Mm-hmm. Nate, any opinions on Saints Packers?
Cheeseheads, baby.
Cheeseheads. He's feeling the love. Nate feeling the love from Jordan Love.
Feeling the cheese. I'm loving what I see with the Packers right now. Y'all mentioned watching that ESPN Monday night game where they kind of forced it down our throats.
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing but 3 and outs. And I don't like that. And I don't like the Saints. And I think the Packers need a win at home. So I'm going with my love. I'm feeling the love for the cheese.
Feeling the love. Okay. This one I don't want to spend particularly much time on at all because I will not believe in Russell Wilson until they win a game. And you ain't gonna tell me that team's going into Miami and stopping Miami's the Dolphins offense in September in Miami when their bench is in the beating sun of Miami at 1:00. Give me the Dolphins.
Yeah, I don't think this one will be particularly close. Dolphins just got too much. Even if you put Surtain on Hill, you still got to worry about Waddle. And Mostert looks like he's having the 1 or 2 games a year he has before he kind of goes down with his chronic injuries. So, until he's hurt and they start going to another guy, I think it's the Dolphins.
Jeff Wilson's ready, I'm telling you.
And then shortly after, Devin A-Chain.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a rotating backfield over there. It's pretty funny to watch, but it's incredible.
Yeah, the only way the Broncos even make this a game is if Tua has another concussion. So even with that, the Dolphins will still win. Some Dolphins probably 20 easily.
Clean sweep on the porch for the Dolphins. The Kirk Cousins Bowl. The Los Angeles Chargers coming to Minnesota. Justin Herbert versus Kirk Cousins in the mid-off. I like the Vikings here. I think them at home is a good pick, even though in week 1 I took them to win against the Bucs, and that didn't work. But I feel like no one can stop Justin Jefferson. No one can do it on the Chargers defense either. Addison looks really, really good as well. So I'm stoked to watch this game. I might throw this one on a screen, but give me the Vikings over the Chargers. I can't stand the Chargers. Brandon Staley pisses me off.
Why you hate this man so much?
I don't know. It's just the way that he coaches games. Like I don't know.
He coaches to lose. I mean,
exactly, and it's so frustrating. Like my cousin played for him at Sean Carroll. Like he was his DB's coach, and he's like the most aggressive guy ever. I was like, yeah, and he's gonna get like left on the tarmac if we kick a game-winning field goal here because he went for it last year, 4th and 6 on his own 40, and gave us the ball back. And Cade York just missed the field goal left. Like they would have left him in Ohio last year. Like I just really don't like the way that he coaches games. It's really frustrating if you're a Chargers fan, I bet.
Listen, let's just all admit what we're all thinking. He has a very punchable face. There's just something about him. There's always that guy where you look at him and you're like, I don't know what it is about you. I just don't like you. I want to punch you in the face. It's Brandon Staley. But I'm actually going to pick the Chargers for this one. I think that Vikings defense looks worse than the Chargers defense, if that's even possible. A lot less bodies. The Eagles just ran all over them. Even if Eckler's not back, Kelly looks like he's more than capable as a backup, and that will just help what is already a dynamic passing offense. So I think it takes a little off of Herbert's shoulders. And I would imagine it's probably a shootout. I don't expect a whole lot of defense. I probably expect both teams in the 30s, but I'm going to go Chargers.
Not so fast, my friend. Just kidding. I'm loving Kirk Cousins this year. He threw 4 touchdowns last week. He almost had 400 yards passing.
Garbage time.
He's doing it. He's doing enough.
Yep.
And the gods of football finally gave him a 1 p.m. game that he can win. And I'm giving them the Vikings a win. I think they just have way too much offense for the Chargers.
Yep. And that West Coast to East Coast trip is disaster for a lot of teams. And the Chargers are usually one of them that don't like to come to the East Coast, probably because their coach is an idiot, doesn't know how to prep them for it.
I would not.
Then another 1:00 game that'll be a snoozer. Patriots Jets. I don't pick against Bill Belichick when he's playing division games, especially when he has a terrible quarterback on the other side of it. I don't think Bill Belichick lets the Patriots go to 0-3. So give me the Pats.
Yeah, I was just saying last week during the Cowboys game, Zach Wilson actually looks like he's learned a thing or two. And then within the next 5 minutes, he threw 2 picks. The Patriots have been in 2 actually slugfests. They've been in both games just with that defense, and I think they just have a little more to offer. I'm going to go the Pats as well.
Yeah, they're road favorites in this game too, which is crazy.
It says a lot.
Yep. Nathaniel, any love for the game of the Jets and Patriots? I know that your wife is a huge Jets fan.
I think the Jets defense alone is good enough to win this game by just creating turnovers and touchdowns for themselves. So
does this game end like 9-6?
It might. I'm
thinking like 12.
Patriots are so mid. I honestly think the Jets will probably defense will just say we'll just do all the scoring too and their special teams. So I think the Jets will win. It's going to be ugly, but I think the Jets win.
Yeah, whoever gets that defensive touchdown wins this game.
Does anyone have visual of Nate? See if his wife has a knife to his neck for picking the Jets. I don't know if that was Nate's pick. I think it might have been Nicole's. Next game, Bills Commanders. Yeah. So she might have the knife to the throat. So you never know. There's a visual for anyone. No, that's funny. The next game is Bills Commanders. Commanders 2-0, but I don't see a way that the Commanders can beat the Bills if they play the way that they did last week. But who knows what Bills team shows up? But for the sake of my pick'ems, I will be taking the Bills.
Yeah, not a whole lot to add. Bills for me, especially because I don't want to see the Commanders also be 3-0 in our division. So this is more just this is an emotional pick. There's no value to this. This is just I don't want to see the NFC East do well outside of the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Trust Riverboat Ron.
Always. Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 3-0 Riverboat Ron.
And Eric Bellamy. All right, he's got that offense.
Eric, believe me. It's not the enemy. It's Eric, believe me. I love it. That's a great nickname for him.
I love what I'm seeing because I got no dog in the NFC East, and I love seeing the Commanders 3-0 right now. So, but I think the sloppy play at the end of the games, the last couple weeks for the Bills, is going to bite them in the ass. And the Bills
does sound like a Riverboat Ron thing.
Yeah, and I feel like the Commanders are going to be a better focused team, and they have a chip on their shoulder this year.
Wow, Nate, you were so right about this witching hour. Going to be electric because these are all 1:00 games for us. That we've covered so far in the last 20 minutes. It's crazy. The 1 p.m. slate.
This weekend slate is I'm normally by 2:00 I'm starting to fall asleep on the couch on Sunday. I'm getting a double monster to watch this witching hour. It's going to be electric.
Yeah. 1 p.m. Fox game, division AFC South. Jags at home versus the Texans. CJ Stroud hasn't thrown an interception yet, which is, I guess, promising for the Texans. So good for him. They might have found their quarterback, but they need a line. They have like a makeshift line. The Jags should blow them out. They're favored by 10.
Yeah, it's going to be the Jags for me as well. Funny moment from last week. I forget who it was, but someone commented on Tank Dell limping off after fair catching a ball.
Yeah, that was me. He called for a fair catch and he ended up like limping to the sideline. I was like, oh yeah, of course, Tank Dell's gonna get hurt. And I'm like that. That's funny.
For that reason alone, I will not pick the Texans once this year.
Yeah. Oh, that was great. Nate, any opposition to the Jags Texans? You riding with T-Law? Duval, clean sweep on the back porch. Now I need Trevor Lawrence to get right for fantasy purposes, so hopefully he throws the ball a lot to Calvin Ridley. So that's cool. Next game is Ravens versus Colts. Ravens looking to go to 3-0. Looks like they're probably going to be up against Minshew Mania at home. They look good on offense after the first 2 quarters of the season. So they still don't know what's going on in the run game. It'll probably end up always being a committee because it just seems like very Baltimore to do. But I got to take the Ravens here. Would love the Colts to upset it though.
Yeah, love my boy the Stash. Did great for us in Philly last year, but that team is too ill-equipped right now to try and take on this Ravens team. Even without Dobbins, that offense will find a way to get its points, whether it's a check down to Andrews or their super rookie, Zay Flowers, kind of breaking out a little, hopefully, for my fantasy benefit. But yeah, I'm going to go Ravens over the Colts.
Anytime a Raven sees a Colt logo on the side of their helmet, they see red. And I don't know what the Ravens Colts record is since the Colts left Baltimore, but I'm pretty sure it ain't pretty. It's Ravens big in this one. The Colts are just a shell of themselves right now without Anthony Richardson. He did help them.
He looked good.
Say this. He looked good. I hope he comes back healthy, but he is definitely a threat in the red zone.
Yeah, he's vultured touchdowns for fantasy. It's crazy.
Yeah, and him and Pittman clearly have a really good relationship right now. So because Pittman had a really good, two good weeks with him. So, but no, Ravens are going to win this one.
Yep. All right, we finally made it to the 4:00 slate. We can go pretty quick on these because I think we're getting past where the time limit, what I wanted to be at, but appreciate everyone listening for the 30+ minutes of this episode. Panthers, Seahawks. Wow, this 4:00 slate, kind of dog shit. I'm not going to lie. Panthers, Seahawks.
Yeah,
that's it. That's it for me, Seahawks. I'm not going to watch this game. Seahawks. Not a great game. Hopefully Bryce Young doesn't get killed because he looks very small out there. The next game, also a doozy. Wow, what's going on in Chicago? Their defensive coordinator resigning today as of the recording for allegedly having child pornography on his phone. Apparently the reports of the FBI raiding his home were false. But there is investigations going on, and he resigned, and he said it was for his health and to focus on family. No, dude, you're probably these reports are probably true. You're gonna get caught with child porn and you're going to prison. So Kansas City favored by 12.5. Jeez, that's terrible. Kansas City's winning. Game for them.
Good thing the Bears were able to hold on to their first for next year because they're gonna need it. Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs getting the Bears easily.
Chiefsaholic trying to go to 2-1 behind bars. Good for him. Another game favored by 12. Cowboys over the Cardinals. A layup. The Cowboys look good. Micah Parsons might be the best player in the NFL. He's so good. Cowboys offense looks good. Cowboys offense in September is usually pretty damn good. So just wait till Mike McCarthy has a close game, and I think that we'll be able to judge the Cowboys. But hey, good for them. Starting off, looks like they're going to be 3-0.
Yeah. I'm going to channel my inner Stephen A. And Nate, if you clip this, I will find it and I will come after you. But the Cowboys scare me right now. They look really damn good. And it hurts my heart to say that. That's going to be the Cowboys for me.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Hey, find that clip. Make sure you clip it.
Boom. I'll clip it. I'll get it.
Yeah.
Legion of Boom 2.0. They look better than the Legion of Boom. They can get better. I think they will be better than Legion of Boom eventually.
Wow, that's
with Micah Parsons
hard to do.
That charge. Just don't Josh Dobbs. That's all I ask.
Don't
hurt him.
That's
we love Josh Dobbs. Well, not just that, just like for the sake of humanity. He's hired by NASA. Like they're just waiting for him to like end his career.
Yeah.
Like we need him to advance as a society. Please do not kill him.
When you're sacking him, please, Cowboys, when you're sacking him, lay him gently on the ground. Please.
Yeah, make him fall like Tua did this offseason. Nice and soft. The Sunday night game, when we see the beautiful one Carey strut out, it'll be for the Steelers versus the Raiders. Chandler Jones doesn't want to play for the Raiders. He was placed on non-football injury list today. It looks like he might be traded or released. I don't know what's going on there, but he came out Labor Day weekend, said he doesn't want to play for the Raiders. So he's pretty much done there. However, the Steelers' offense has looked horrible, but their defense is really good. Mm-hmm. This game might suck. This game might
be awful.
Yeah, this game might end like 15-7. Like it's ugly, but I can't stand the Steelers. And after what Minka did to Nick Chubb last Monday, or the Raiders, give me the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm also going to go the Raiders. I don't trust the Steelers at all. Kenny Pickett looks awful. He looks so bad. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't be shocked if he's replaced in the next year or so by like Carson Wentz. Like he just does not look good at all. It's the gloves.
Yeah, the 2-glove look is brutal.
I hate the Raiders. I don't like anything silver and gold. Jimmy Garoppolo is a joke. Steelers are going to win this game just by turnovers alone. And they're going to like literally, they might not score touchdowns on their turnovers, but they're going to put their offense in a great position to score. So, I see this being just a horrible, low scoring, sloppy game, but Steelers are definitely going to win this one.
Mm-hmm. Then another great Monday night doubleheader. Woo! Give an applause for the dog. Boo! More like a boo. Eagles Bucks, Ray J, Tampa, Monday night. A beautiful, crisp 88 degrees and probably muggy as hell in Tampa next Monday. Baker Mayfield 2-0. Shout out to Bake Show. Playing very, very well, but all good things come to an end. Philly in this one, and it might not be close.
Yeah, Eagles kind of look like they figured it out a little bit on offense in that second half. Will be a tough team to run against, though. I think it'll be closer than I would like it to be, but I think it kind of mirrors the Vikings game where the scoreboard reflects it being closer than the actual game was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is just another example of people from like Philly or Jersey going to Tampa for retirement for fun. This game's going to be super over at halftime. I think the Eagles have figured out their balance on offense, and it's just going to be ground and pound and hit Devontae and A.J. Brown with them play actions. It's going to be over real quick. And that Philly D's just getting warmed up. And I feel bad for Baker and them. It's not their fault. They're playing great. I hope they continue that success, but they're just running into a really good team right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. The second half of that doubleheader is Rams Bengals. We've touched on this a little bit earlier, Ryan, but Joe Burrow not confirmed playing. I don't know if he has practiced. I believe that their first practice of the week is tomorrow. So by the time this recording goes up, we might know if Burrow practiced or not. But either way, that offense has not looked good. And they've spent a lot of money on the offensive line, and it really hasn't showed up to protect Burrow. I could see. I'm going to pick them to start off 0-3. I thought the Rams looked good. I think McVay is coaching that team very, very well this year for what the expectation was. And until the Bengals offensive line shows that they are good enough, I think that Aaron Donald might eat. So,
yeah, Yeah, I don't know. I have a gut feeling I'm going to pick the Bengals in this one, even without Burrows. I think the Rams are kind of showing a little bit of that Minnesota Vikings from last year, pixie dust on them. I think things are just falling their way right now, and I don't have a lot of faith in that team without Cooper Kupp, even if Puka Nakua looks like the next great receiver out of nowhere. But I'm going to go Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going Bengals too. It's a get back game for them. I think they have way too many pieces and way too many just good things that they can do with their pieces. I think their coaching staff and their organization's gonna get a win on this one. It might be ugly, but it's gonna be a win for them. I feel like they can't go 0-3. They can't start that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you. I would be shocked if it happens, but if Burrow is not playing, I really wouldn't be. It's not too crazy to think that Matt Stafford can outplay Jake Browning. But we'll have to see the level of concern that Burrow is. But I really think the Rams can come in and do some business there. So that actually concludes week 3 preview. So appreciate everyone sticking through, hearing about the opinions that you have. Unless you're a Chargers fan, you probably hate my guts and didn't make it through the rest of the listening here. But if you did, make sure you are following, liking, subscribing on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of the social media platforms. Ryan, Nate, thank you both for joining the NFL edition of the Back Porch Overs Club this evening.
Happy to be here.
It was a little pleasure, always.
Perfect. So everyone that is listening, make sure you tune in for Friday's show, tomorrow's show. We will have the college football segment up. But until we see you on Friday, enjoy your Thursday Night Football, Amazon Prime.